The day started as usual.
It was a Tuesday and I had to go to work.
I was never the most popular, even with my family.
I woke up, said good morning to Armani.
It's not like we weren't wealthy, but there's only so much stuff you can have before you start to feel lonely.
Mum was tipped over the brink. I stuffed my bags to the brim.
It started at parties when the occasional drink became a few too many.
Pamper me with presents like they didn't want to know me.
I locked the door behind me and I went down the street to try and catch the bus, but I noticed an old man trailing behind me. The same old man that had been following me last week, keeping a distance of at least 10 feet.
Slowly, the warm buzz and drunken dizziness of the evening faded away, and I had to deal with what I remembered the next day.
Teens pushed past, but not the type that went to school. One on a bike, thinking they owned it. All in all, it wasn't a bad start, until the bus showed up late.
I know he trusted me, but the fact that friends can become actors in less than a day meant he was always covering his back.
The last time my mum hugged me was 8 years ago. Inside a Waitrose. Call it a first world problem, but I wasn't sure I had one.
There were half-finished conversations and half-felt feelings left inside that house. And one joyride would take that all away from me. I tried to take on less after college, so I didn't go to university because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Teachers gave me a book. Support lines told me to take a bath. The Reverend questioned my religion. Now, I know you're not in my position, but take to realise that this is like bringing a blunt knife into a gunfight.
But maybe there's something else I could take. Something else to stop me stuttering, mumbling, fumbling over what I'm going to say.
He was never aggressive towards me. He kept saying as soon as his music career takes off, he'd move away. And he'd leave this life behind. We're going on a date to Nando's.
No matter how real I am, never treated like a human being because I'm too privileged to have real life human issues, even though I've been bruised so many times.
But it's hard to know what you want to do when that purpose that was set out for you gets taken away.
I could tell he wanted to ask me something. Shuffling closer, he finally mustered up the courage to question my gender. Just as the teens pushed past, who found it hilarious.
I just had a butterfly chicken and chips, but he had so much more than me. When we left, some guys started shouting at us in the street.
Maybe my mind's drifted back to cocaine, and the next time I blinked, I was at a table with blood-stained white lines with a few of my mates.
Have you tried taking a walk in the woods? Sure, but my mood will never change. Big, looming branches overhead, wondering which one I'll take a swing from.
The bus was late the next day, which meant my friends were coming around again. The one on the bike rammed into my legs. Slurs were spat out at me like I was vermin. I found my feet, but there was one who I didn't meet, who pushed me into the road. I almost hit the bus.
I thought I'd be safe. I thought they wouldn't hurt me. I was surrounded by guys that I didn't know. And they started shouting, saying things I couldn't even understand. I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my side.
Everyone's manifesto just seems so confusing. Fly to Mars, create a metaverse. We can meet tens of millions of people online every day, but fail to address the 3 million silently suffering in the UK. Again, it's not my place to say.
Hate in their eyes, deciding who was going to do the most damage. I couldn't handle it. I tried to run, but they caught up with me and they beat me. Through and through.
Talbot Mini have been a motivator, calling out to the crowds, getting them to find their calling and follow their passions. Maybe I needed that message.
Every time I went to parties, it never changed. However, the same 5 faces started to look a little strange, and just like the alcohol, the excitement fizzled away.
These thoughts strummed my heartstrings. I found it weird how they knew what to play, no matter the time of day, week, month, or year. I guess some things never change, do they? I feel sick. Standing on that chair and with the noose around my neck. If I took one more step, would that be my final breath? No. Oh, hang on.
And I fell to the floor. And I touched where it was painful. My hand was covered in blood. And even when I was on the floor, he didn't stop. He just kept stabbing me and accusing me of helping Armani get away and helping kill his friends and helping take over their ends. I'm here now.
The late Lions, all-day gaming sessions were too good. They were too good to miss out on. Eventually, Mum found out. I don't know how. My best guess is my sister. But neither of them knew how I felt or thought to question what was going wrong. One day, Mum came storming into my room, blaming all of her problems on me. She gave me an ultimatum: get a job or move out. I told her I don't respond to people who shout.
The unfortunate thing about this world is that the good habits are so much easier to give up than the bad ones. The truth is, I could never fall asleep, staring at my ceiling until day broke, left with only my thoughts, thinking that there's only one solution to send me to sleep. Others tried to warn me, but their screams all sounded the same, judgmental and full of rage. It bored me. I could have met the devil and he wouldn't have hurt me. I assume that's where I'm going next anyway. Lying on my bed, I thought, how much could I take before I passed out?
Fine, that was it. I loaded my bags into my mate's back seat. He's pushing 90 down back streets. He asked me if I wanted to have a go. Convinced me it would be easy. So I jumped into the driver's seat, started to accelerate, but couldn't seem to find the brakes. I flipped every switch until the headlights went off.
What if I slipped? Would that be it? Would I be dead? Well, I'm here, so I guess that must be it. I see no exit, which makes me sort of miss how fragile my life was.
When the headlights came back on, we went straight to a wall.
So I saved up my pay, even did overtime on Sundays. I got home, laid it out on the floor, didn't make it halfway.
I just wish I could do it all again.
I guess I died. I don't get why. I never got involved in Armani's business. I didn't even know who these guys were. I just don't know how how a postcode can be a death sentence. And we've got a country which says that it's banned capital punishment. But I've got 17 stab wounds that tell me young people are still punishing each other for crossing territory they don't even own. The government just think that young black men will eventually sort themselves out. So they don't need role models, they don't need opportunities. They just need to be categorized as criminals who are guilty until proven innocent. Did they not think about the mothers who are crying because their sons and daughters are dead? Did they not think that maybe they're trying to become something just like them?
Your God doesn't exist for me. And your books are just jumbled words.